Good evening, guys, and happy Sunday to all of your sunshiny faces. I tried to turn this light on once already, and did I not turn it on? I turned the other light on. I don't I don't know what I'm doing. Happy, what did I say it was? Sunday to all of your sunshiny faces. Anyways, guys, I ended up, actually, we didn't end up getting to too much, and like I woke up sort of late today. Like I got up around 10 o'clock, which was again so pretty late, at least especially considering when I've been waking up. But I literally still feel like I didn't do like almost anything at all today. Me and my dad ended up running to Menards because we wanted to grab more like wood boards, because I think all we have all the wood except for the very final half bed left. And so then we can get all of the beds in. We still have to get the dirt for it, but like I said, I think that we should be, for the most part, pretty good. But then we can sort of just fill in the last of what we want to plant in those beds. Which, like I said, I don't really know what we're going to wind up planting, because we're kind of like almost past the point of like planting things for like the summer, and a lot of the other things too, like lettuce and like kale and like that kind of stuff that like I still want to plant, is more of like a late, like it'll do better in cooler sort of weather. So like I'm almost not wanting to plant it right now while it's like really hot outside, because trying to get it to like do well while it's so warm, it might not. So like I said, I don't really know. I'm sort of, like I said, want to wait a little bit and then plant it later. So anyways, though, we ended up, though, the final bed that we had on the side closest to our house, I didn't have anything planted in there. So what I wanted to do, I was hoping that this would be okay. What I wanted to do actually was I wanted to get a spaghetti squash and acorn squash. I wanted to get them like already, like what's it called, like the plant. I wanted to get a plant, but I couldn't find acorn squash anywhere. And then when we were looking at the seeds, I did find acorn squash actually at the dollar store for only $1, the seeds. So I was like, for $1, I'll plant it, see if it winds up making it. It says you can still plant it, I think, up until July. So we're still, like, because it's the end of June right now, we might still wind up getting some. But I did wind up finding, I couldn't find spaghetti squash seeds anywhere. Then we went to Walmart and I found spaghetti squash seeds, but I also found a spaghetti squash plant that was actually kind of mature already and was actually pretty big, like significantly big. It did have a couple of dead leaves on there, but overall it actually looked pretty good and pretty healthy. So I bought that for $4 or $5, I think it was, from Walmart. And again, I wasn't like too upset about that. A lot of the places, though, like Menards right now has a lot of theirs on clearance, like all of their actual plants, like vegetable plants. So that's what I was hoping to find. But they had them for like $2. I think most of everything that they had still left was like $2 or maybe $2.50 or something like that, which I think they were maybe close to that anyway, but it felt like $5 was kind of a lot for like that. But like I said, it was still sort of big and still sort of mature, so I'm not super upset about paying that. But we got that at Walmart. Then we ended up going to Menards, and like I said, we got the other wood that we needed. But I also got not a tomato cage, but like an A-frame. We have the same ones. I think we have maybe 4 or 5 of them, that we let all of our vining plants, like we have melon, butternut squash, which I don't really know how much butternut squash vines, but I think it does. I've never grown that. And then I have the zucchini, but the zucchini really won't vine too much, I don't think, either, like up onto that. And then the beans, but we have the beans on like bamboo poles. So but like I said, mainly like the melons, which I think, honestly, I started finding stuff that looks like volunteers were coming up, but like I don't know if they were volunteers, because I found a random zucchini or some type of squash. So I don't know if like the seed ended up just getting blown into another bed or something ended up happening. but it was all the way across our like pathway into the next bed. So like I don't know how that really would have happened, but it did wind up happening. So I ended up transplanting that today into where the other zucchini like squash is, because it looks like it could be one of the, either I planted summer squash, the yellow squash, from seed, but we ended up getting 2 zucchini plants. I didn't plant those from seed this year, and they actually are already, I have a little tiny little baby zucchini that's coming in off of one of the flowers already. Like I saw it flowering like 2 days ago, and already it's got like a little baby zucchini on there that's like maybe like a couple inches. So it's really cute. We also have our melon, I think our cantaloupe, it's, or some type of melon, like I think it's cantaloupe, the one big one that we planted in the middle. Then we planted other what's it called, cantaloupe on the one side, and then we planted the butternut squash on the other side. But something in the middle, it was called something different, but I believe that it is a cantaloupe. It wasn't called muskmelon, because I know that sometimes cantaloupes, I think muskmelon has more of a like, I don't know, like line along like the sides of it. It almost looks like you could like peel, like it looks peeled sort of already, like when you open up a like orange, you know how it like looks like it's got those like, you know, like divots sort of in it. It's not like smooth on the outside, like it kind of is like beveled. I don't know how to describe it. Anyways, this somewhat of what I've noticed like muskmelon, but sometimes they call it muskmelon and it's still just literally cantaloupe. Like I had the exact same variety, but like it was called one thing, but they use the exact same picture, and one was called cantaloupe and then one was called muskmelon. So I really don't know, but it was called something different, like some type of like wonder melon or something like that, but it looked like a cantaloupe, I think. I don't entirely know. I have to check our papers and see what we wrote down. So anyways, we ended up, like I said though, I wanted to try spaghetti squash and acorn squash as well, because my mom sort of likes acorns, or I think acorn squash. I know she really likes butternut squash. I really like butternut squash, but I think she also likes what's it called, spaghetti squash. I remember her like having it or making it or using it or something like that. And if we grow it, like we'll use it somehow. Again, we'll figure out some creative way to use it. It's not something we buy that often. Like I personally normally wind up buying butternut squash a lot to make my butternut squash curry, or I have a recipe that's like, I think it's like a Beachbody mac and cheese, but you use butternut squash and like a little bit of cheese. So it's a lot more like healthier, but it's like I've used that recipe. So I do cook with butternut squash semi-regularly, like in some, like I said, cases. But either way, like I said, I'll figure out a way to use, like I said, those other squash as well, just because I want to keep all of like our vining plants closer to our side of the house, so that again, we plant the ones that are further away from the house, they don't wind up all in our neighbor's lawn, and then they can't mow their lawn or anything like that, because it happens. And like I can't, like if I know like it won't go into the house, it'll only go on the pathway, I can move it back into the, you know, into the actual garden bed. So like I said, that is sort of what we were up to today. That was really all we ended up doing. But then I ended up making dinner for tonight. We ended up doing shrimp on the barbecue, and we ended up doing hot dogs, but really only my dad and Jack really eat hot dogs. So we did shrimp, we did corn, I did, what's it called, cauliflower and broccoli again on the grill, which I actually really liked yesterday. The broccoli didn't turn out as good yesterday as the cauliflower, and then today the cauliflower didn't turn out as well as the broccoli. I ended up having more of the broccoli, I think, today than I had of cauliflower, but we ended up doing that. I ended up doing all that, like I said, cooking stuff and things like that for grilling. Then, and I cut up too, I'll show you guys the fridge, because the fridge is still actually pretty much clean from when we cleaned it out last week. So I'll show you guys what it looks like in here. But I also did a bunch of produce prep and also breakfast prep for everybody else for this week. I ended up cutting up watermelon. We had a watermelon that was left, I think honestly it was 2 weeks ago, but it is so ripe. It is like the perfect watermelon. I let it sit out on the countertop for, like I said, we didn't buy it this last weekend, and I think maybe we bought it the weekend before that, or maybe the weekend before that. I don't entirely remember. Anyways, it's like the perfect watermelon though. So that's why, like, if I am ever like concerned, like, oh, maybe the watermelon's not gonna be that great, if I let it sit out for like a little bit and then cut it up, it's always really good. Then I got cantaloupe that I got at, I don't know, Jewel or Valley Produce or something. Valley Produce, I think. And I have a little bit of, what's it called, pineapple left over. I cut up the broccoli that I had, that I had bought. I have a little bit of cauliflower left over. I also cut up, lettuce and tomatoes and some of those Persian cucumbers. Although I realized one of the stores, Valley Produce or Caputo's, had lettuce on sale. I forgot to add it to the list, but when me and my mom went over to my aunt's house on Thursday, we ended up grabbing a loaf of bread, and we also didn't have lettuce, so I bought lettuce on Thursday to do like the BLTs, and then also to the tuna salad, which we have a little bit of the tuna left over, and so we ended up picking that up. So that's, we still had most of the lettuce left, so I cut it all up and put it in there. I also made pasta salad for dinner tonight to go with the grilling. But then in these things, guys, these are like the most genius like invention I think ever. They're perfect for parfaits. So you guys can see on the top, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this with one hand to take the lid off, but it has this little like thing that sort of sits around. I think you guys might be able to sort of tell in there, but you can add like extras like to it, sort of. So if you were doing like a small little salad in the bottom, then you could add like salad dressing to the top, or if you were doing like carrots, and then you could add like salad dressing, and then the little thing, it like pops off, like it sits into it. I don't know if you can tell, but it sort of like sits into the top, and then you can, like I said, put like whatever extra stuff. So for the parfaits, I got that yogurt on sale at Meijer yesterday, plus I got berries on sale this week, so I ended up doing blueberries and strawberries, and then I picked up that granola at Aldi, so I ended up doing that. I made 6 of those in total with the yogurt that I had, so I got 4 down here and then 2 up there. And then I was telling you guys last week, actually, I bought the what's it called, the bagels, but I ended up making with those, I got eggs too last week at Caputo's, and then I also got at Caputo's a couple of weeks ago, I got those little like pork sausage patties. So that with cheese, I ended up making 4 of those too, so like for breakfast, you know, sort of through the week, like the parfaits and or those, because like Jack doesn't like the parfaits, but I had to make them all pretty much at the same time just to use up the whole thing of yogurt. So in total, that was what I was up to. Honestly, the amount of time that it took me to pretty much do the dishes from dinner, that was honestly how long it ended up taking me to make those like those bagel sandwiches. I just ended up getting a frying pan, fried up the pork sausage. I did the eggs in the microwave just because I didn't feel like turning the oven on and going through all of that. I could have and just done it in the oven because it probably would have been easier than on the stove. But I honestly, because I made 4 of them, this little like Corningware like dish, and I just threw it in the microwave, and just like, you can do scrambled eggs in the microwave too, so I just threw them in there and like cut it into 4ths and then just put it on there, because I was thinking we have these like little ramekins, but I didn't want, it was almost too small like that actually, because it spread more, so it was like a little bit better if I was doing them on the English muffins, which I have English muffins too, but if I was doing them on that, I think that that would have been a little bit better because they're like smaller. But because the like bagels are so much bigger, like even like the patties were sort of small in comparison to like the what's it called, the bagels. So anyways though, I ended up making all of that, cooked up all that. So like I said, I'm trying to like use up what we have as far as like food stuff, because like again, the freezer, I got 2 packs of the 40 count of the pork sausage, and so I was like, I want to try and start using these up. So again, I got the bagels last week at Aldi, but then I got the good deal on the English muffins at Meijer yesterday, so I was like, I really need to make these. And honestly, like I said, it did not take me much time at all, and I didn't end up dirtying much dishes. So like again, I don't want to make a ton of the sandwiches though and leave them sit in the fridge, and then like again, people aren't really eating them up that quickly. So that's why I was like, I'll just make 4, plus again, there's already those parfaits in there, so I didn't want to have too much food in there. But like, again too, if Matthew comes home from work or whatever and he's like, oh, dinner's not ready yet or something, you know, and he's hungry and needs to eat, or again too, like Jack comes home and maybe he didn't have breakfast or he had just cereal for breakfast or whatever, like if they want to have it for more of like a lunch, or you know, like a afternoon snack even, you know, something like that, or even after dinner snack, you know, like whatever, I don't care, as long as like, again, they're eating them and can be, you know, like there's an option though for breakfast that's not just cereal, because that's really sort of the only option we have for breakfast. And honestly, it's so much cheaper to make those kind of things than it is to like buy a pack of like, oh, like, you know, the easy, like, you know, what's it called, it's like biscuits, you know, like breakfast biscuit muffin thingies, whatever, you know, like that kind of stuff. And so I was like, this is honestly not, you know, like I said, too bad of, you know, like again, I got deals, really good deals on pretty much all this stuff, and considering how expensive eggs are right now, I still got a good deal on eggs. But those like sausage patties, I was really happy about. And again too, like I can start going through the bagels, but then I can move on to the English muffins and use up those because I got such a good deal on those too. The only thing is, I realized we're literally just about out of cheddar cheese. So I'm hoping that, or like American cheese, I'm hoping they have it on sale next week, because 4th of July is next week, and we are gonna need it for you know, like burgers and stuff like that. I don't know why. I thought we had like a whole, like at least a half a pound, and I can't find it in there. So unless it is misplaced, but like the date on the one that I was using was the newest date, so I think we did go through the old package, and then now we're like only have like a couple slices left of the new one. So like I said, I think that was what ended up happening. But we actually, I think, are going to go to Meijer tomorrow, because I wanted to go before Thursday because I have an offer sort of deal that's going on. I think we figured the only day that would probably work was actually on Monday. So my dad's going to be off though Friday through Tuesday. He is taking off, and then he won't go back to work until Wednesday. But he has got like a huge long weekend for 4th of July. And so we can get a lot of hopefully project stuff done. And on top of that too, we can change the grocery shopping up a little bit. Like we might not go on Thursday, we might go on Friday morning then to the Thursday stores. Meijer's gonna change, like I said, but then we don't have to go anywhere on Saturday. We can maybe go on Sunday then instead. We can actually have more time to go. But what day actually is the 4th of July? Is that on Monday? That would probably be okay, I guess. Or maybe again too, like we can move Jewel then like to Saturday morning or something like that. I don't know, but like I said, we might just wind up changing some things around or something like that. I don't know. But as far as I know, I think we're going to Meijer tomorrow. But anyways, that is what it looks like. But I'm a little nervous just because I don't know like if some of the deals at Meijer are going to be cheaper than the other grocery stores this week, because I don't have any of the other grocery ads. So I'm just gonna do what I think is hopefully the best deals. And like, for example, they have watermelon on sale, and I was like, okay, well, I'll get a watermelon, but I'm scared that like the other grocery stores are probably gonna have them on sale cheaper anyway. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Like, that's one of those things where like if it's not, then I just passed up on a really good deal. But if it is, then I still don't think the deal is that great. Like, I've seen watermelon still cheaper. Even this season, I've seen it cheaper than what Meijer's price is. That's one of the things with when I'm planning my grocery list too early, because I don't have the other ads, or I haven't actually seen like the coupons that are coming out for that week or whatever, like for the other stores. So thing that I've noticed though, especially lately, I used to always be like, oh, because it's, you know, like the holiday weekends or whatever, like this stuff is always like, we always wind up buying more. And I think sometimes we do, but honestly, like Meijer sales last week, like the deals that I just did yesterday, 2 days ago, or no, yesterday, the grocery deals that we wound up doing in Meijer this week were better deals than the ones that are coming up for the 4th of July weekend. And normally, again, that's when I'm like, oh, we're gonna like stock up and like, you know, all this stuff that they have sales on. But I actually, like I said, I don't see that many great deals actually at Meijer, which is kind of surprising. So yeah, and you know, like I noticed that it has been the same way too with like Jewel, even too, like for Easter I think it was, I was like expecting to like have sort of a big haul, and it was actually one of the really small ones that I had this year, or something like that. Like there was a holiday like that, similar. So like, and a lot of times too, I'm like, oh, well, I get a lot of deals on meat or something like that, you know, and I like, Meijer really didn't have that great of deals on meat, you know, so like I said, I don't know, but like in Jewel too, like they had their pub burgers on sale last week. They might not have the pub burgers even on sale this week because they had the sale last week. So I think it could also be a reason to like encourage people to do their grocery shopping earlier, like the week before like the holidays, because I tend to notice that those actually lately at least have been the weeks that have been better sales than the following week or the week, you know, of the actual like holiday when it falls on, because normally it's like, oh, last minute people that are doing all their shopping like, you know, the day before like the holiday or whatever it happens to be. I noticed that, like I said, they don't maybe actually have as good of deals. Actually do wind up like sort of jacking the price up a little bit on certain things because it's like stuff that they know you're gonna need, like buns and, you know, all of that kind of stuff, you know, hot dogs, that kind of thing. But sometimes though too, because of that competition, they want you to shop at their store, so they actually don't wind up doing that. So like it's sort of a catch-22 sometimes, where you actually don't know what kind of sales you're going to wind up with. So that's why, like I said, Meijer actually didn't look that great, and surprisingly too didn't have a lot of like the like holiday sales that I normally see, like on Pop, or again to like meat, like specific cuts of meat for whatever holiday it is. You know, like I didn't see like ribs, or like, you know, they really didn't have any hot dog sale. They didn't have like ground beef sale, a really good ground beef sale. Like I said, some of those things that I tend to see for like, again, those holidays, I actually didn't see anything. So again, I don't know if that's just Meijer, that's gonna be how it is at all the grocery stores, but that's one of those things, like I said, where I have to be like, do I take the chance with like not buying it at Meijer if I think it's a good deal, or do I again possibly spend more money when I could buy it cheaper somewhere else, just because I don't know what the other stores are gonna have yet, because their sales, I don't get the sales papers until Tuesday, and they don't start their sales until Wednesday, whereas Meijer's a whole week ahead. And on top of that though too, Meijer's sale will actually, so if 4th of July is on Monday, they'll actually have 2 days of sales, because their sales start on Sunday. So they'll have Sunday and Monday, but again, like still, it's still like over that weekend, like Friday, Saturday, and Thursday even, sort of, would be like a lot of times when people would be buying for that sort of sale. And so like I said, they did have like advertised as like 4th of July sale sort of stuff, but like, I don't know, they didn't have as many really good deals. So anyways, we'll see what winds up happening in tomorrow's vlog, and the haul that I can share with you guys. But if you guys did enjoy today's vlog, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.